Hi, hello. Welcome everyone in my new video. In this video I'm going to talk a little bit about The Rose of Sebastopol, a book by Catherine McMahon, which I read a couple of days ago. I finished it yesterday actually. So these are like first impressions right after reading, before I get involved in a new story. And I'm just going to talk briefly about the book, what I liked about it, what I did not like that much, is it worth recommending, and if you should read it or not. It's, already something here. A disclaimer, this video is going to be awkward because I'm recording it. I think it's the first video I'm going to post on the channel, which is stressing me, honestly. And it's really awkward to just talk to the camera. Plus, I'm subconscious because English is not my native language, and I'm a bit afraid that I will be picking on the errors once I will be re-listening to this, and I will be unhappy about them and will not like to post. But this is already too long and everyone is bored, so let's hit it. As I said, and as you can see in the title, the book that I'm going to talk about is The Rose of Sebastopol. Here is the cover. I will most likely put a picture on the screen for you to have a reference. And I will be gesticulating a lot, because that's what I do. Okay, what is this book about? Here you can listen. Yeah, so that's what it is about. I started reading a couple of days ago and I was immediately drawn into the story because of the prologue, or rather the first chapter. There's no really prologue as such, which was short and ended with quite bomb. I was not expecting to see it there. And I was immediately thinking, I have to know, how did it happen, how it led to this, and how it will continue on. So what's important is that this first chapter is taking place in 1855. Right after that, we jumped back in time by a year for one chapter. Then we went back to 54 to 55. And then we turned back in time by 10 years, and so on, back and forth, back and forth. You know where I'm getting at, right? Which was, I must admit, a bit annoying. This first part of short chapters, jumping back and forth in time, where we can't really get involved in any of the timelines. But I get why it was necessary. So this first part of the book, which is mainly focusing on 1854 and 1844, is for us to get to know the characters, their motivations, who they are, what they do, what are the connections between them. Then we are going back to the first, to where the first chapter stopped or ended, and we are continuing on with what I call the actual book, the actual history, which was also the part I was the most interested in. So I was waiting impatiently for that to happen. Fortunately, the first part was not too boring, so I could still get something from it and be excited about reading. As you know from the description, we will be focusing, or the book will be focusing on three main characters. Rosaba, who is a cousin of Mariella, and Henry, the fiancé of Mariella. Henry is a doctor, and there are also some other family ties between them. And I must say that Mariella, who is also the narrator of the story, is the most interesting character for me, and she remained it throughout the whole book, because since the beginning you can see that there is a potential for the character development. She's also describing, as I said, she's the narrator, so we are seeing other people through her eyes. which might be misleading. By which I mean she has certain opinions and certain imaginations or assumptions about the other characters, both Rosa and Henry, and because she's so, she's a human being, right? So she's applying those to them, and because of that, we do not have a whole picture. We only know them through her eyes, which might be not necessarily right and correct. Simply speaking, biased. Henry is there. I didn't care about the guy that much, to be honest. But I had the feeling since the beginning that Mariella had a twisted vision of him. She knows him since they were little, and she applies her emotions to the picture, and I think she does not know him for who he really is. But that's just an assumption from a reader that just started reading the book, right? And Rosa is annoying. What's important to know is that these two ladies are actually quite different in a way that Rosa is emancipated. She is interested in medicine. She's constantly speaking up about how women are not allowed to study. And she has her dreams, as you know from the description, to join the war and be a nurse. Whereas Mariella is more of a collected lady. She does not have any problems with following the rules. On the contrary, she sort of seems to like the rules and likes to follow them. So she's a proper young lady, so to speak. But by no means is she boring or anything. She's comfortable with where she is in the society, and she has her interests and her abilities, and I think that's a solid base for a nice character. So that's where we started, and then we went a bit in time where we got to this twisting point, which is the first chapter, and I must say I did not expect it, even after. I mean, it's like, you know that's going to happen, but it is still a bit shocking that it did, because there was no foreshadowing for it in the first part of the book. Like in 1844 or 1854, like zero. And that's one of the minuses of the book, or one of my complaints towards it. No foreshadowing. You're just hit in the face with it, and you have to accept it that's the case. And later on we learn a bit more about that situation from other characters, but it's still rather put on as a fact that this and this happened. You don't know the person, he or she did this and that, and it's a bit like, okay, I guess that's all we get, other people's words, but that's fine. It's one of these books that you want to end, because you want to know how it ended, and at the same time you are enjoying it so much that you don't really want to finish it, right? Because what's next? But in this case, I was really, really waiting for the ending. I wanted to know if how to say it without spoiling it. I just wanted to know how it ends, right? For all the people involved in the story, not for one or two of them, all of them. I wanted the plots to be wrapped up and for me to know the end of the story very badly. And I must say that the ending was unfortunately disappointed in a way. It was very abrupt. We didn't get an epilogue or anything like this. We just got one short scene from which scene we have to assume certain things. And the problem is that this last chapter was focusing on a character that I was not really that much involved with, and I was left without any information about what happened to main character and other side characters. So it was like a clean cut and everything that was supposed to follow was never written. And I was actually checking. I was reading. I was reading an ebook, so I was pressing the button, and when I was 8 pages before the end, I was getting suspicious. Like, it's only 8 pages, but this does not seem like the end of the story yet. We are still in the middle of action, sort of. So what's going to happen in these 8 pages? And then I read through, I reached the last page, and I was questioning that this is actually the full book. I was skeptical, and I was looking for more. Like, is my version corrupted? Don't have, I don't know, another 50 pages or so? Because this is ridiculous that it ended this way. But unfortunately, no, that's how it did end. And I have to deal with it now. And this is the moment of silence for my wasted hopes. Sad music playing. This being said, I gave The Rose of Sebastopol 4 stars on Goodreads because it was still a good book. Was it an excellent book? No. The lack of foreshadowing, which I mentioned earlier, is still paining me because it's a cheap move, sort of, that you don't really see anything coming. It's like, even, I mean, it's a good thing, right? In crime books, for example, that you are reading them and you are not able to decipher the mystery, because otherwise what's the point of reading till the end, right? But the point is that if you backtrack, you should be able to see at least some signs. And in this case, you can backtrack as much as you want and you will have nothing, because there just is no foreshadowing. And you can argue that that's because of the first person being a narrator, so you can only see what that person sees, or only see what this person wants to see, sort of, right? But still. So even though the ending was unfortunately sort of disappointing, the journey was exciting, and I cannot say that I regret reading this book, and I cannot say that it was a wasted time. It was definitely time well spent, and a book that I will remember for a longer period of time, actually. It's not one that will fade out immediately. So I do recommend it, absolutely. If you are a fan of historical romances or historical fiction, please read it, because there's a high probability that you will like it. And I think that's basically it. You can tell I'm stressed, right? The voice is a bit shaky. And I did not write down or imagine how to end that, so now I am talking without any purpose. The words are just spitting out. But yeah, let's cut it here, just like Catherine has cut the end of the book. I will just say 2 more words. If you like this video, please give a thumbs up, and if you like books, watching videos about books, talking about books, and anything books related, then hit the subscribe button. It will help me a lot. And I would also appreciate maybe a short reassuring comment. Please don't be mean. This is the first video and I'm not used to this yet. I hope you enjoyed, and let me know in the comment if you read The Rose of Sebastopol or other books by Catherine, or if you like historical romances. A lot of questions for you to answer. See what I did there? Yeah. That's it for now, and I will talk to you in the next video. Bye!